Welcome to part 2 of creating forms and using Fluebrew, where we're going to create question types using text.
So now that you've created a form, the next part, the meat and potatoes, the part that you've all been waiting for, is the creating questions piece. And it's actually pretty easy to do, but also quite. When you first create a form, you are actually going to a start question right away, and it's going to be a multiple choice variety. But just to kind of go over what all this stuff does and how it works, you're going to have your question title, which is what the question actually is. So that's what the students will see as the question, and then you're going to have your question types. They're going to have multiple choice. It's going to be the first one that's selected, but then you have text, paragraph text, check boxes, choose from list, scale, grids, date, and time. And then you're going to have your options for the student. So I'm going to start actually with the text question. And the reason for this is, generally speaking, the first thing you're going to want to do is ask for the student's name. So you're going to do name. It's a question, it's a text type of question, and then they're going to get their answer. The next piece of this is something called data validation. And with data validation, you can check to see if something specific is there or not. So you could actually use this to make sure that they input the right answer to the question before they moved on. You can also check for things like a certain number that's greater than a certain thing. You can do certain things with text, things that contain or do not contain certain things, a URL if you're looking for that, or an email address. So let's say in this case, we're not going to validate the text. I'm just looking for their name, and I want to click this required question piece if I want to make sure that the students fill that out before they're done. So required questions is also very important. And then I can hit done. So now this is my first question, name, and here's my text box. Now let's say I want to duplicate that because I want to ask another text-based question. If I hit the duplicate button, it's going to give me another one. And now I can ask for their email address. If I wanted specifically that email address to be within my domain or whatever, I could put that help text here. And now I'm going to go down to that data validation piece, and I'm just going to click the box and say, this time I want text, and I want an email. They need to put in here an email address. If it's not a valid email address, it won't work. And then I can put a custom. So then I could type in something like, sorry, you did not enter your email address correctly. Please try again. And then hit done. And now when the students enter their email address in, if they don't do it correctly, it'll bring up that pop-up question. Again, I could select duplicate and add another one, or I can add another item from down here, which when I click add now, it's going to automatically add text because that's what I've been doing. So now if I wanted to ask a long form question like, how could I make this tutorial better? I could put that text in there, and now this time I'm going to choose paragraph text, and I can still do data validation within here if I want. So if you're looking for a specific word within a longer form answer, you could do that. And I want to make that a required question as well. And then I'll click done, and now you can see that they have a little bit bigger thing to write in. So those two pieces are the paragraph text.
So that concludes part 2 of using Google Forms question types that involve text.